Hello again in this video clip series that I'm calling my journey to God in a very secularized world. I would like to continue in this meeting we had of our monthly meeting of the permanent formation of priests in the Diocese of Perugia of November 13th, 2019, when Cardinal Bassetti had invited a priest from Bergamo, the Diocese of Bergamo, Don Giuliano Zanchi, and who said to us in rather strong words that we priests must resign ourselves to the mentality of the world of cohabitation of unmarried couples, and those who do not do this, the priests who do not do this, have a psychological and moral problem. It's incredible how things are totally reversed today. I think you remember in some of the earlier video clips I had explained a little bit more in detail of how ecclesial masonry was well organized after the Second Vatican Council. They printed up books and pamphlets and everything else for seminaries and Catholic universities, and with the help of many Mason bishops, it was attack on the truth, reversing, they interpret Vatican II as they wanted it to be interpreted. That famous phrase, in the spirit of Vatican II. It's amazing to me, like I said before, when I hear people, read people on Facebook that talk about this, almost inevitably, those who talk about this interpretation of Vatican II, they've never read the documents. The spirit of Vatican II. But I explained before, this attack on the truth is well organized, in terms that they had printed up new books and everything else, and also I had mentioned before, you know, that the Rotary Club is the how do you say it in English, the antechambers of Masonry, along with the Lions Club, to prepare people to enter into Freemasonry. Now, as I had mentioned before, the Rotary Club here in this zone of Umbria of Italy had given Cardinal Bassetti their highest award on May 14, 2015 in the Cathedral of Perugia. And also I had mentioned that in 1999, the Rotary Club had given the same award to the Cardinal of Buenos Aires, whose name was Cardinal Bergoglio. In these articles, I'm continuing with this article called Priest Systematically Brainwashed. You can find the references there. But I had put toward the end in that article many articles that explain this even more in detail, such as one article, the title was The Extraordinary Love of Masonry for Pope Francis, a studied documented history. And another article, Pope Francis, the Masons applaud, we are with you. This should open our eyes. That one of the main goals of Masonry is to destroy the Catholic Church. And they're real happy with Pope Francis. The people don't open up their eyes. And another article, thank you Francis from all the Masons of the world. That's an article in Spanish. And another article, why does Freemasonry openly support Pope Francis? Another article, the new Pope Francis is a member of the Rotary Club, and so on. And as I had put in the articles also, there have been 8 popes since 1738 that have condemned very strongly Freemasonry. And the most recent was in 1983, Cardinal Ratzinger, from the Declaration on Masonic, and in this document, Cardinal Ratzinger wrote, therefore the Church's negative judgment in regard to Masonic association remains unchanged, since their principles have always been considered irreconcilable with the doctrine of the Church, and therefore membership in them remains forbidden. The faithful who enroll in Masonic associations are in a state of grave sin and may not receive Holy Communion. But people don't care about nothing anymore. Everybody makes up their own rules, and what will happen when they die? Are they going to tell God how the rules should be? Who? You know, I might also mention too that to become a 33-degree member of Masonry, one must take the oath Ordo ab Chaos, which is a Latin expression meaning order out of chaos, which is one of the motives, one of the main motives to promote uncontrolled immigration, as well as undermining commerce and the whole of the structures of society in a covert and underhanded way, using their very numerous bribed Masonic politicians and corporate directors. Most Masons do not know they are working for Satan until they have been formed and brainwashed in at least 24 degrees of Masonry. But on the other hand, immediately at the first degree of Masonry, one must accept religious syncretism, that all religions are equal, which means that Jesus Christ is at the same level with Muhammad or Buddha or any other religious founder. Already in the first degree, if people don't open their eyes, then they're more brainwashed until they take all the degrees of Masonry at 33 degrees. So we must pray very much, brothers and sisters, because we are truly the generation, Matthew 24:34, of the great apostasy before the manifestation of the Antichrist, 2 Thessalonians 2:3. The church, the body of Christ, will be crucified. Read the Catechism, paragraph 675 to 677. In this period of the Great Tribulation, Matthew 24:21. But in the end, Our Lady told us, my Immaculate Heart will triumph, in 1970, to prepare for the second coming of her divine Son. Padre Pio said it would be easier for the world to survive without the Son than to do so without the Holy Mass. This saint also said, the Rosary is the weapon for these times. After years of prayer and studying and following the signs of our times, I am convinced that soon we will enter into this prophecy of Daniel, that where we lose the Eucharist in all the public churches of the world for 1,290 days. The exact quote of Daniel 12:11 is, and from the time that the continual burnt offering is taken away and the abomination that makes desolate is set up, there shall be 1,290 days, which will correspond to the period of the Great Tribulation. Perhaps also, I think how this will come about, is that, like in the climate of crisis and fraternal brotherhood, universal eternal brotherhood, we must all, Christians and religions, celebrate together to overcome this crisis, world crisis. And at that point, it will be forbidden for priests to celebrate the valid Mass. I think it'll come about in some way similar to that. And we talked about, I had talked about before how Our Lady has helped us with true private revelations. But unfortunately, there are also a lot of false revelations in this. Because also St. Thomas Aquinas, he, as I had indicated before, and you can find in my documents, that he did say that at old times there have not been lacking persons having the spirit of prophecy, not indeed for the declaration of any new doctrine of faith, but for the direction of human acts in a particular period of real difficulty. You remember when I had, in one of my video clips before, Our Lady, in the messages to Don Stefano Gobi, she had said in the message of February 9, 1985, she said, darkness with a thick, cold fog has entered the church, obscuring it in the splendor of its truth. For this reason, every day my word is forming you to the spirit of wisdom, that you may always see in the light the truth which my Son has taught you, and proclaim it with courage to all in its integrity. The time has now come, when only the little children, consecrated to Immaculate Heart and entrusted completely to their Heavenly Mother, will have the gift of keeping themselves intact in the faith and of bringing to the true faith the souls entrusted to them. We're in a very difficult period, full of confusion, and we truly need, like as little children, the guidance of our Mother. I will end this video clip here. May God bless you, and Mother and Mary guide you.